fire outbreaks rank among the leading natural disasters. Our guest, having served as a fireman, has demonstrated his admiration for firefighters.
Today, when somebody sent me a helmet, and that was it. I got the bug, and it's just escalated ever since.
How many helmets now?
Through his unique collection of fireman helmets. This collection depicts the development of the fire services spanning back to the 1880s, when the firemen were part of the Army and utilized military-style steel helmets. Included in the collection is the High Eagle helmet from the 1900s, made of leather due to the invent of electricity, which caused the helmets to electrocute firefighters.
Sort of molded materials.
That's right.
So when you were in service, what were you wearing?
One similar to that one down there with the two red stripes on.
Yeah.
Alongside various other helmets made from different materials. This collection is a treasure trove of history, estimated at...
That's right.
So that's creeping up to 25,000,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
You can tell the story of the fire service better than anybody else.
Okay. Wow. All right. That's amazing. I had no idea. Okay.
It's always talked about that Asian arts are quite unique for their craftsmanship and history. And we see that with this statue inherited by our guest. This is a Chinese statue from the Ming Dynasty.
That is to say, in rough terms, this is about 400 to 500 years old.
It's a bodhisattva statue known as a guardian figure in Chinese culture. The many heads on the statue represent omniscience, while the multiple arms represent omnipotence.
Condition, there are some things that were once present in these hands that are gone.
The piece has traces of polychrome decoration with beautiful gilding on its faces. A piece of this quality that serves as a Buddhist and Taoist icon in today's marketplace would sell for
$10,000 to $15,000.
Okay. Wow. All right. That's amazing. I had no idea. Okay. Wow. That is a complete surprise.
The guest inherited a beautiful, star-shaped brooch from her great-great-grandmother. It is identified as a late 19th century piece, likely crafted around 1880. The brooch's unique feature was a combination of various gemstones. The center star featured a stunning pink sapphire, a rarity as sapphires are commonly known to be blue. The pink sapphire is of exceptional quality with its well-saturated, almost purpley pink color. Surrounding the pink sapphire are 2 carats of yellow diamonds, followed by another layer of white diamonds. The brooch was also crafted from 18-karat gold and showcased intricate detailing in the cut of the gemstones. There's the presence of an ingenious retractable pendant loop, allowing the brooch to be worn as a pendant as well. The only caveat was the lack of a signature or hallmark to identify the maker. Despite this, the estimated value of the brooch is to be a staggering, with an insurance value of
Carried around 80,000. Wow. That is a complete surprise.
a rare Colt Revolver was brought, a piece of history from both the Wild West and the Middle East. This revolver, produced by Samuel Colt in Paterson, New Jersey, is a significant relic from the early 19th century, one of the earliest models, dating back to around 1837. It's one of the earliest models embodying Colt's innovative design. Before its invention, most pistols were flintlocks capable of only 1 shot. With Colt's Revolver, user had 5 shots before reloading. The pistol uses tiny caps to ignite explosives, enabling multiple shots.
Cylinder against the barrel, and it lined it up, because before that it was always a bit haphazard, and if you hadn't got it lined up, the thing would blow up.
It was a breakthrough in firearm tech, firepower, and efficiency.
You pull it, and the hammer falls, and that would set off the percussion cap, which in turn sets off the powder charge.
Its historical importance and rarity make it an extraordinary piece, elevating its worth to...
If it is, then I think it's got to be £150,000.
On display today is a collection of items from the Second World War. The guest's husband was a navigator plotter during the Second World War. We have a pair of boots worn by the guest's husband, and what's interesting about these boots is that he had them on when he parachuted off the Vulcan airplane because it caught fire during a training exercise. Another item presented is the parachute handle that the guest's husband pulled, which saved his life. Lastly, we are presented with a drawing that was made by the son of a farmer who rescued the guest's husband after he landed from the Vulcan plane crash. Depicted in the drawing is an ablaze Vulcan plane and a parachuting figure. This collection is a reminder of the tragic tales of the Second World War. It is estimated to be worth,
commercial point of view, the value is negligible, probably not even £20.
No.
But from your point of view, they are priceless.
Yes.
The guest brought a caricature drawing of James Taylor Ellison, a notable figure in Richmond's history, along with his collection of canes. Ellison was a collector of canes, and many were given to him as gifts, some of which were inscribed and dated. The guest purchased the collection at an estate sale for $250 about 20 years ago. The appraiser identified a swagger stick among the canes, which was a common presentation item for notable men. The caricature drawing, signed Rostrup, was a unique and original watercolor piece. While the canes themselves were of modest value, one engraved cane with a gold cap was much more valuable. The appraiser praised the guest find, noting that the caricature amplified the value of the entire collection. A heaven for the cane collectors, the appraiser estimated their worth as
$4,000 to $6,000.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Very
Great
nice.
find.
Really? That's awesome.
This guest received this painting as payment for services rendered to his banker.
Later in life, and when he got sick, I went and done some work on his house for him. When I went in to get paid, he had this sitting on the floor in front of his fireplace.
It was painted by the British-born American artist Frank Mackay Tresidder. The painting depicts an oil field during the oil boom in Glenpool, which started around the 1900s when the painting would have been made. Showcasing the artist's bold brushwork and meticulous attention to detail, it is an early depiction of an oil field and an American topographical landscape before development. Bearing the signature of this renowned Mormon artist, the value of this oil painting is estimated at
$15,000 to $20,000.
Really? That's awesome.
Originating from California, this Rolex day-date wristwatch, an earlier model dating back to approximately 1964, was given as a gift to the guest by the guest's uncle. This 18-karat gold timepiece, a testament to craftsmanship, glimmers with a legacy forged in every meticulously preserved detail. Its original bracelet, case, bezel, and movement, each whispering tales of epochs past. Preserving history's whispers, it cradles the original chronometer bulletin with care, nestled alongside a day-date booklet, a timeless relic copyrighted in 1964, a treasure rare. Despite a crack in the acrylic crystal, the watch remains housed in its original red leather box, alongside a calendar from 1965.
When we saw the crack on the crystal there, it's an acrylic crystal. It needs to be fixed. If you don't replace it, it will not be water resistant.
Highlighting its status as a cherished and valuable family heirloom, the value that it could fetch at auction is
In the $18,000 to $20,000 range.
We set our sights on this beautiful oil painting, inherited by the guest from his grandparents in Virginia.
Pretty sure, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it came down from my grandfather. And I don't know where he found it.
Where were they living, your grandparents?
They were living down in the Virginia area.
The painting is the work of the American Impressionist painter Walter Lunt Palmer, regarded as the American painter of winter, for his traditional winter landscape scenes. This piece is a very typical example of Palmer's work, created during the early 1900s, despite having undergone a reasonably aggressive refurbishment.
Strip the varnish, clean the painting, and then subsequently revarnish the painting. They were really aggressive. It was over-cleaned.
Its quality and attention to detail are exquisite, showcasing the brilliance of the artist. The worth of this piece is estimated at
$20,000 to $30,000.
Wow, that's great.
The appraiser visited the Jailhouse Museum in Boise, Idaho, to appraise some prison-related items. The first item was a ball and chain with a cuff and lock for each ankle, discovered on the penitentiary grounds and thought to have been left behind by a prisoner during a prison break. Weighing between 15 to 20 pounds and based on their hand-forged construction, the appraiser estimated that the chain was made between the late 19th and early 20th century.
One like this, without the cuffs and locks, would probably bring around $500 retail. A complete example with the locks and the cuffs for each ankle might bring as much as $1,000 retail.
The second item was an Oregon boot, or Gardner shackle, named after its inventor, J.C. Gardner, designed to throw the prisoner off balance. Made of nickel-plated steel, this seemingly innocuous item could actually cause serious damage to the hip. Weighing between 10 to 30 pounds, this boot was likely made in 1876. A charm for collectors and those interested in the history and development of such items, the appraiser estimated its price to be
$2,000 to $7,000 retail.
The third item was a medal won by Idaho State Penitentiary guards in a shooting competition. Dated 1895 with Penitentiary Guard written on the top, the medal was a typical jeweler-made piece from the late 19th century. Made of silver or brass, the appraiser estimated this rather unusual piece to be
$1,500 to $2,000.
Frederick Slater's two captivating woodblock prints exude the charm of the 1920s and 1930s, featuring local scenes. Eric Slater was a great local artist from Seaford who studied at Hastings. These prints are intricately crafted, with each color representing a separate woodblock, meticulously carved in a line to create a harmonious final image. One of the prints, titled Morning Calm, vividly depicts the entrance to New Haven Harbor. Another print portrays the New Haven Coast Guard station, showcasing Slater's delicate artistry in capturing local landmarks. The guest's interest in Slater's work began when she inherited a painting from her uncle.
Just absolutely fascinated by it, the clouds, the colours and the perspective.
Both signed prints, part of an edition of about 50, are not valued a lot, but valued at.
And you probably pick these up for, I would think, maximum £300 or £400 each.
Yes, grandmother Pauline, who studied both mat and art, attended Newcomb College and was taught by Ellsworth Woodward, for whom she received several treasured artworks. The Woodward brothers, Ellsworth and William, moved to New Orleans as teens, immersing in the local art scene. By 1890, Ellsworth was the first dean of the Newcomb Art School, and both brothers helped found the school and Newcomb Pottery. Pauline's collection includes a pastel sketch by William Woodward, depicting her grandmother. This collection also includes a watercolor of the Newcomb College campus, valued lower due to market preference. However, the highlight is an oil painting from 1917 showcasing the Newcomb College chapel behind a fountain. Emphasizing its artistic and historical importance, at auction, this quintessential piece by Ellsworth could bring
$30,000 and $50,000. Ooh, that's more than I thought.
Purchased 40 years ago for £10, this Majolica piece is believed to be a product of the Worcester factory. Worcester produced a limited range of these items despite not being typically associated with Majolica ware. No one would have expected its source. It is surprising for a Majolica to come from here. Dating back to the late 1880s, specifically around 1880 to 1887, this piece holds historical significance. Although the factory did not produce these items in large quantities, this one has been well preserved and maintained. Majolica jugs are renowned for their vibrant glazes and intricate, colorful designs. It would look great with daffodils, and it has an aesthetic appeal that enhances its charm. Reflecting both its beauty, in today's market, its value is estimated between
Be ready. 2, 1. 200, 300. Whoa!
Guest's treasure trove includes original Dr. Seuss lunchbox artwork. It was sourced from a Long Beach estate sale. These pieces, created by Aladdin in 1970, feature iconic characters like the Cat in the Hat and Horton. The collection includes the back panel depicting Horton and others, and the side panel adorned with the Sneetches, adding a whimsical touch. However, one missing panel is the one with the Cat in the Hat. Despite this, the artwork's authenticity is upheld, with the original stamps intact.
Or some of the lunchboxes, and that's all I know about them.
What you have here is some original artwork.
This impressive, unique find is valued.
Like this would easily bring between $10,000 and $15,000 at auction.
God, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The guest brought a beautiful robe that had been given to his mother as a gift. It originally belonged to the guest's stepfather, who acquired it during a trip to China in the late 1970s. The item was identified as an Imperial Chinese dragon robe, dating back to around 1880. The robe featured the Imperial five-clawed dragon on a yellow ground. The appraiser explained that the yellow color was reserved for imperial use only. The robe was adorned with symbols such as peaches of long life, bats representing happiness, and a reverse swastika. Made of silk, the robe was missing several parts, including the back slip, collar, and part of the back. Despite these missing elements, the robe was still quite valuable. At auction, even in its partial condition, the robe was estimated to be worth
$10,000 to $15,000.
Wow. Really?
It's very difficult to find these uncut robes anymore.
A fascinating piece of Jamaican silver, dating back to 1740, has been in the Scottish family for generations.
Grandmother liked to buy lots of things, so we don't know if this is further back or if it's something she bought.
It is inscribed with a dedication from the Honorable Charles Price, Esquire, to Samuel Upton, marking the completion of the Dam of the Decoy on October 10, 1740. This inscription also features a scene depicting Price's home in Jamaica, a pond with birds, and African slave workers. Charles Price, a prominent figure in Jamaican history, was Speaker of the House of Assembly and Chief of the Militia. The maker's mark predates Jamaica's 1747 silver marking system, reflecting the era's style. Colonial Jamaican silver from this era is extremely rare and highly sought after. Due to its historical significance and rarity, the piece is estimated to fetch, at auction,
$20,000 and $30,000.
Oh my gosh.
The guest presented a corn lamp they inherited from their mother. It is a unique piece crafted by Libby, a prominent glass manufacturer from Toledo, Ohio. The lamp's design, featuring a maize or corn pattern, was particularly popular around 1889. Significantly, the piece is really rare. Taking the rarity of this piece into consideration, the insurance replacement value is
$1,500. Okay, wonderful.
This item is worth every penny of its valuation. It is a 300-year-old treasure box that has been in the Guest family for generations.
No, because I'm not interested in selling it. Because it'll stay in the family. It's been in the family. That's where it'll stay.
The furniture is made of 3 different parts and is filled with precious family objects honoring the men of the Pathfinder Squadron from the Second World War. Additionally, it contains some discarded posters dating back to the early 20th century. Preserved and presented in very good condition, what value will this remarkable piece of furniture accrue?
I'm not interested in selling it because it'll stay in the family. It's been in the family.
The Guest brought in 2 figurines inherited from their mom, who had always been curious about their origin and purpose. The Guest explained how their mom had rescued these figurines from the trash after their aunt deemed them worthless. Both figurines are identified as products of the Dolton Lambeth factory in England, dating back to the 1860s to 1880s. The first figurine, with blue and green glaze, was considered commercially produced and thus less valuable. The estimated insurance value of the piece is
$100.
Wow.
The second figurine, however, held a much greater significance. It depicted a man playing the piano and bore the mark GT, which was identified as the mark of the renowned sculptor George Tinworth. Tinworth's figurines were highly sought after by collectors, making this particular piece a rare treasure. Despite a minor chip on the hat, the estimated insurance value is
$2,500.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
The Guest brought in a Victoria Cross medal that belonged to his wife's grandfather, Sergeant James Ockenden. This is an incredibly rare and significant medal, as it is the highest award for gallantry in the British military. In service, Sergeant Ockenden fought valiantly in World War I, including the horrific Battle of Passchendaele and the Gallipoli Campaign. During the Battle of Passchendaele, Sergeant Ockenden displayed exceptional bravery by rushing a German machine gun post, single-handedly killing multiple enemy soldiers and forcing the surrender of others. This act of heroism earned him the Victoria Cross. The official citation for the Victoria Cross, detailing Sergeant Ockenden's courageous actions, was read. The inscription emphasized his disregard for personal safety, leadership, and instrumental role in securing victory. He also received another gallantry medal for a separate instance of attacking a machine gun post. Sergeant Ockenden fought in the Gallipoli assault, was wounded in the head, and later served in World War II. While Queen Victoria intended the Victoria Cross to hold no monetary value, the estimated worth is
£250,000 to £300,000.
I didn't think it would be that much.
As we set our sights on this ancient artifact, we learn that the guest's father acquired it from a friend.
The story goes, my father's friend brought this home from France after the war. Supposedly, it had been shot in several places, and he was just downsizing and gave it to my father, who was also over there.
This is a decorative urn manufactured in France, made from an extremely rare English stone called Blue John. The stone is sculpted into an urn and mounted on gilt bronze mounts. An artifact recovered from the French War, this urn has suffered some damages, with chunks of the stone knocked out from bullet shots.
A little bit. We can sort of see that it's had a little bit of a hard life. That's a good war story. The bullets caused these damages.
At the base of the piece is the hallmark of its retailer, Baudouin Masson. Large pieces of Blue John stone are very hard to come by, making this piece extremely rare and worth
$3,000 to $5,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Prepare to be captivated by this unique piece of Western Americana furniture. The guest purchased the whimsical piece several years ago, drawn to its unique charm. The desk and chair were carved by Dr. Niblack, a Denver chiropractor renowned for using dental tools in his artistry. Active during the 1950s and even collaborating with Disney, Dr. Niblack's creations are rare and highly collectible. Though not technically intricate, this furniture piece beautifully captures the spirit of the American West, with wonderful figures carved into it. Such mid-20th century Western Americana artifacts are highly sought after by collectors. Currently, the auction estimate for this remarkable piece of Americana furniture stands at
$3,000 to $5,000 or thereabouts.
Imagine a journey through colors and strokes as we journey into the depths of this captivating canvas painting. Our guest, accompanied by her husband, acquired this piece at a thrift store. This captivating piece was created by Lee Gaudy, an American self-taught artist who was active in Chicago from the 1960s to the early 1990s.
Especially Chicago area individuals are very interested in her work. She's heavily collected in that region in particular.
Painted in the 1980s, it depicts a female figure with a red headband and lips painted in red, all set against a vibrant yellow background. Characteristic of Gaudy's works, she employed a variety of paint mediums, which we can discern in this piece. At auction, this captivating and colorful painting would command a value of
$2,000 to $3,000.
That's great.
Exhibited on the show is a folk art cane that isn't just functional, but also a piece of history and culture. This guest acquired this antique piece because he loves its designs.
Physician, so I was collecting those, and this is one of my best ones that I had.
The cane was carved from a solid piece of maple wood. At its top, we can also see a carved figurine serving as its handle. Below the top figure, there is a carved box containing 4 carved heads. Turning the cane around reveals the name of its maker, John Mitchick.
And we've done a quick research, and we can't find anything on the maker.
Just 2 parts of this item are highlighted with paint, and the cane boasts fish and snake carvings around it. This piece was carved circa 1910 to 1925 and exemplifies detailed craftsmanship. We can expect this cane, with its expression of creativity, to have an auction value of
$3,500 to $4,500 on this wonderful piece of American folk art.
That's crazy.
This guest brought along a painting purchased by her father.
Father purchased it in 2004, and it was supposed to have come from a Scottish estate. It has a sticker on the back of it to say that it was attributed to Anthony van Dyck.
It is a portrait of the Duchess of Hamilton, Margaret Fielding. Originally thought to be the work of the iconic British court painter Sir Anthony van Dyck, the Flemish Baroque artist who revolutionized portrait painting in the 17th century Britain, this painting was later identified as a recreation.
Because what happened in the 18th century, because this man, this great colossus of British art, changed and influenced the way we paint so much, there were artists who went back, who looked back.
While not an authentic Van Dyck, as the original is lost to history, this 18th century recreation captures the essence of the iconic artist's style. Although it is not an original, the painting shows great inspiration and would easily sell at auction for
£3,000.
Well, that's nice to know. That's lovely, thank you.
When we fall in love with our heroes, it's only natural to want a piece of them. This guest embarked on a journey to acquire autographs from her heroes, writing multiple letters, including one in 1993 to Jerome David Salinger. Salinger, an American writer and author, is best known for his 1951 novel, The Catcher in the Rye. This particular letter, heartfelt and written by an 11-year-old, managed to earn his extremely rare and hard-to-come-by autograph.
So Salinger's response here at the bottom is, I don't sign autographs, Amber, and if I can help it, I don't answer mail. Lance, I imagine, feels much the same way about it.
Preserved in very good condition, this beautiful piece of correspondence from hero to fan is valued at
$1,500 to $2,000 on this piece. So not bad. There's a second ribbon for you for your 4-H project.
Wow, my husband's going to freak out. Thank you.
Good.
The guest brought in a beautiful doll inherited from her great-aunt, sparking a conversation about the doll's origins and value. The doll is a German-made Kama and Reinhold doll, crafted in 1917, a bit later than the guest had anticipated. This particular doll, christened model number 117 by the manufacturer, was a popular choice among doll collectors. Unlike some of the more unsettling dolls of the era with their vacant stares and gaping mouths, this doll was known for her serene expression and closed mouth. This feature contributed to the doll's enduring appeal. The doll's body was made of a composition material, a common technique used by doll makers during that period. This material, typically a mixture of sawdust, glue, and other substances, allowed the doll makers to create realistic features while maintaining affordability. Despite its age, the doll remained in exceptional condition. Her fingers are all intact and her limbs are firmly strung, indicating careful handling over the years. Even the original mohair wig, though a bit matted, could be restored to its former glory by a skilled professional. Overall, the doll presented beautifully, and at auction could fetch.
Measure it. The value of the doll in a retail setting would be between $3,500 and $4,500.
That's nice.
In 1930, the guest's mother bought this doll named Ella Smith, also known as an Alabama Indestructible or Roanoke doll, for 50 cents.
My other dolls, they were pretty and nice. I still have some of those. I did decide to keep it because it was one of the first dolls I had.
Once, someone offered guests $2,000 for it, but she refused the offer. She told that the other doll belonged to her great-aunt and is a Colombian doll from New York. It's a stockinette doll, hand-painted with blue painted boots. Despite some wear and tear, it's in pretty good condition. Appraiser confirmed that the Colombian doll is also a Southern doll called a Maggie Bessie.
The doll was made by two sisters, Margaret and Elizabeth, therefore Maggie and Bessie.
Maggie Bessie dolls crafted in Old Salem, North Carolina, were limited to about 500 pieces, originally sold for just $1. Doll has a German body with bisque hands. Doll originally had a bisque head, but was repaired with a Maggie Bessie head. He's a boy doll with a side part hairdo, which is rare. Boys' eyes are usually brown, but his blue eyes make him even more unique. Appraiser meticulously assesses each doll individually.
Not blue, so that's unusual too. Well, retail value for this very rare North Carolina doll would be between $12,000 and $15,500.
You'll have to say that again.
Here we have a collection of Dr. Seuss books with a fascinating backstory. The guest inherited this collection from their grandmother, who worked as Dr. Seuss's secretary in the late 1930s and early 1940s. There are several Dr. Seuss classics, some first editions, and later paintings. There are inscriptions in some of the books that is dedicated to the guest's grandmother, possibly a parting gift when she left her position. The value of all the books is $800 to $1,200.
Lack dust jackets, so they're not in mint condition, but I would average these out at sort of $800 to $1,200 each.
However, one book stands out from the rest with the title, The King Stalks. It features an original Dr. Seuss illustration within its pages.
It's signed by him at the foot. We can see that.
To top it all off, the book is signed by Dr. Seuss himself. The appraiser estimates the book worth at a staggering
The value of this leaps, and I'd like to say $15,000 to $25,000. Wow. Or maybe perhaps a little more, then that's an auction estimate.
In threads of silk, a tale is told. Through every stitch, a story unfolds. In the family for many years, the paintings always hung over the buffet. The owner got it after their mother passed away. As kids, they saw 1811, L, G, and SK written in black and gold on the glass. The main part of the painting is Lady Grey, made by Sarah Kenton, the owner's great-great-great-grandma, in 1811 when she was pregnant with her first child. She probably lived in either Philadelphia or New Orleans at the time. Sadly, the original frame got damaged in a house fire in the 1960s, and some parts of the painting had to be fixed. The owner says the painting is made of silk-on-silk embroidery, which was common in the early 19th century. Although they first thought it was from England, it's more likely from America, maybe Philadelphia, because of the kind of wood used in the frame. The owner is thankful for the expert's help, especially in figuring out how much it's worth. While examining the condition of the item, the appraiser said,
$40,000 and $50,000. Great Scott. Thank you so much for bringing this in. This was a real treat to get to see. Thank you for your expertise.
Amidst a myriad of items, a particularly heavy vase caught the eye. Upon closer inspection, a faint etching on the bottom can be noticed. The etching revealed the name Steuben, a renowned name in clear glass and figurines. However, this vase was different. It had a semi-transparent quality, akin to a sunny-side-up fried egg. It was a Steuben clothra piece, crafted in a delicate lavender hue between 1915 and 1933. Noteworthy was the presence of the fleur-de-lis mark, a symbol of authenticity.
Find these types of pieces. I believe the shape is 2683.
In pristine condition, the vase bore the shape number 2683, further adding to its provenance.
Dollar shopping trip. This was an estate sale in Seattle.
Correct.
This ethereal quality lavender vase was valued at.
So this particular piece today would be worth about $2,500.
Get out.
Today's segments showcase an extraordinary collection of musical instruments with rich histories. Our guest acquired these musical instruments with great passion. First, we have a stunning 1924 F4 Gibson mandolin, boasting a flawless red sunburst finish. Next, the 1922 Vega Fairbanks Tubaphone No. 9 banjo, the epitome of tubaphone craftsmanship.
Tubaphone No. 9, which is their highest grade tubaphone banjo.
Despite aftermarket enhancements, the banjo retains its exquisite hand engravings and intricate carvings. Extensive customizations done on the banjo has adjusted its current value to
about $5,000.
Sadly, this banjo would have fetched a higher amount if it had remained in its original condition. Meanwhile, the untouched mandolin, in its pristine state, is valued at
$7,500 today. They're both really fine instruments.
These instruments stand as a testament to exceptional craftsmanship and musical legacy. This guest's great-great-aunt created a remarkable totem of American history. During the 1850s and 1860s, she traveled to the Washington area to collect autographs, compiling an album of signatures from many important figures in 19th century America. The guest inherited the album from his father. The autographs in this album include those of great political figures, notably Abraham Lincoln, Sam Houston, and Andrew Johnson. It also contains the signature of the father of American music, Stephen Collins Foster. Despite being in pretty rough shape, this truly wonderful autograph album would sell at auction for
$6,000 to $8,000.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Often, dolls are thought of as children's playthings, but that's not the case with the doll presented on the show today. This doll was given to our guest by her husband, who inherited it from his grandmother. Ambiguous in nature, this doll could be masculine or feminine and was crafted around 1913 to the 1920s. Quality bisque porcelain was used in making this doll, along with quality craftsmanship, which makes it retain its shape after so many years. Although originally a novelty piece for kids, due to the quality of its craftsmanship and demand by collectors, it is worth
$4,000 and $5,000.
Really?
Yeah, really. I mean, it's a very rare action cupie.
The guest purchased a Victorian insect case in London for a mere $400, along with two other items, in 1991. The case, made of mahogany and typical of the era, contained a fascinating display of scarabs, butterflies, and moths. It is a Victorian nature curio, crafted in England during the 1860s to 1870s. While some of the delicate scarabs have become loose over time, the overall condition of the case and its contents remained remarkable. The unique combination of specimens were potentially collected from various parts of the world. It also has the cultural significance of Victorian nature enthusiasts who loved showcasing exotic birds. Considering the case's rarity, good condition, and historical context, the estimated fair market auction value is
$2,000 to $3,000, but we think that at an auction for exotic nature things, this might even do considerably better. But thank you, this is really a fun piece.
The guest brought in a collection of Native American artifacts inherited from their great-uncle, a shoe salesman who acquired them in Oklahoma around 1910. The collection turned out to be a treasure trove of items primarily from the Kiwa tribe, with a single pair of moccasins belonging to the Delaware tribe. There are several key characteristics of the Kiwa material. Kiwa pieces were known for their intricate beadwork designs, use of paint for decoration, and a unique rolled fringe technique. Some examples on the leggings had full fringe running along the leg and a flap that would move with the wearer. And on the moccasins, where fringe trailed behind like dusters, possibly meant to disguise footprints according to tradition. Each piece in the collection held cultural significance and potential monetary value. The estimated value of the Kiwa leggings is
$4,500 to $5,500.
The Strike-A-Light pouch is
Neighborhood of $4,500.
And even the Delaware moccasins is
Worth $3,000 to $4,000.
The Kiwa moccasins were the most valuable, potentially fetching
$6,500, $7,500 possibly even for these mocks. Wow.
Over the years, these items have increased in value, however, and the entire collection is currently worth $20,000 to $24,000. A collection of 4 Chinese ceramic panels representing the 4 seasons is featured in today's episode.
The winter season here, autumn, spring,
and over here is summer.
These panels were bought in the early 1960s from an antique art dealer by this guest's in-laws. Although the guest was previously informed that the panels were from the last Chinese dynasty, it is, however, actually from the 1930s, which is known as the Republic period in Chinese history. Their distinctive porcelain design is a hallmark of the Republic style.
And I know that based on a couple of different features in the porcelain.
Each panel features marks indicating that they were painted by Wang Yeting, a celebrated porcelain painter of the era. The current market for Chinese decorative art is robust, driven by prosperity in China. Had these panels been from the Kangxi period, they would be even more valuable. At an auction in today's market, these well-painted, distinct porcelain panels would be valued at
$15,000 to $25,000.
Okay, that's very nice.
The guest's great-grandfather was a surgeon in Civil War, and the guest was unsure if this was a wedding gift or a thank-you gift for surgery by a Navajo chief. The guest believed it was Ute chief named Coloro, and both guests' great-grandfather and chief were companions who used to share war stories together. The appraiser confirmed the story that Coloro was indeed a Ute chief, and he lived from 1808 to 1888. The appraiser identified the blanket as Second Phase's chief blanket made by Navajo, who started making these blankets in the early 19th century. First Phase blankets had white and brown stripes, but these Second Phase had these boxes and border designs and were made in the 1840s. This particular blanket dates back to the 1850s and featured stunning natural dyes such as indigo, brown, and ivory, complemented by a red dye derived from bugs. The blanket had a lot of restoration process too, which was done even before the guest's great-grandfather received it. Knowing that these blankets were highly valued and was indeed an expensive gift, the appraiser estimated this blanket to be
in this condition, without any restoration, I think your blanket could easily sell at auction for $60,000 to $80,000.
The guest inherited a beautiful ink stand, a cherished family heirloom passed down for generations. The object isn't actually an inkstand, but a desk set comprising a pounce pot and a nib wipe. The pounce pot, a container for special drying powder, was used in the past to dust over freshly written letters to absorb excess ink and prevent smudging. The nib wipe, the other part of the set, served to clean the pen nib. It has a delicate design and is estimated to be Georgian-era old Sheffield plate, dating back to around 1770 to 1780. While the object is of historical significance and is beautiful, the market for old Sheffield plate isn't as strong as it once was. Younger collectors aren't drawn to these pieces as much as previous generations. Despite this, the estimated value is,
notwithstanding, I think at auction it should be worth something $600 to $800, something like that. Yeah.
Very nice.
A remarkable piece of family history lies in a collection of items: a pocket watch, a medal, and a cigarette case. The guest's grandfather earned these items for his acts of bravery by saving 11 lives.
This is a picture of the launch that your grandfather owned
During the British steamship explosion, Alam Shine of Cadiz, on March 7, 1913. The J.W. Benson Demi-Hunter pocket watch was more than a unique. It's a nod from the British government.
Master of the launch, Jerome of Baltimore, in acknowledgement of his humanity and kindness to the survivors of the crew of the British steamship.
Made in England for fox hunts, this pocket watch allows one to check the time without opening it. A George V. Medal, awarded for valor in saving lives, inscribed with a tribute to good use's bravery. Lastly, a 9-karat gold English cigarette case, a gift from the ship's owner and captain. While individually valued, their true worth lies in their collective significance.
A picture of your grandfather. The watch itself, as just a regular antique pocket watch,
Their monetary value, along with the photographs, is considerable, ranging from
would probably be something that a collector would want to pay about $1,500 for. Your medal would bring in the $200 to $300 price range, and the cigarette case is something that would be in maybe the $2,000 to $3,000 range.
A Victorian writing desk with apparent uniqueness catches attention. It features Rococo Revival cabriole legs, a Renaissance edge crest, and Gothic doors, a characteristic Victorian-era amalgamation of great styles. Notably, a 5-point star emblem from the Lone Star State hints at its origin. The guest inherited it from her grandfather, who acquired it in 1875, passing it down through generations. An upper drawer reveals a label signed by A. Kempen, a cabinet maker from Austin, Texas. This desk, labeled by Kempen, is a rarity and a museum piece.
A little bit about how you first found the desk.
Well, my grandfather won it in a charity raffle in Austin about 1875.
Its unique provenance and documentation elevate its value to,
I think the estimate, the range of auction estimate I put on this is about, in fact, $8,000 to $12,000.
It's a stainless steel meat-serving cart, and it boasts a unique history and some remarkable design features. This cart was acquired at a Janasaguara warehouse auction. Janasaguaga was a prominent figure in the town's history. They arrived in the early 1950s and started a restaurant.
When he bought it. It's actually a piece that's from the 1930s, and it exhibits this great 1930s streamlined design.
Interestingly, some sources claim this cart might predate Janasaguana's establishment. The appraiser believes this cart is actually from the 1930s, not the 1950s. It exhibits the classic Art Deco streamlined design characterized by smooth, elongated curves. This style was hugely popular in the 1930s and was often likened to the sleek lines of Zeppelins. While the exact maker is unknown, its excellent condition and historical significance make it quite valuable. Based on these factors, an estimate of the cart's value is in the range of
A piece like this at auction would probably bring between $6,000 and $8,000. The value I'm putting on is based on it as just a wonderful, wonderful.
The guest brought in 3 out of 10 oyster plates she inherited from her husband's stepmother. Based on their design featuring an eagle motif, the guest believed they might have been from the Hayes administration era. It is revealed, however, that the plates were actually replicas of the official White House china designed by Theodore R. Davis during Rutherford B. Hayes's presidency. While oyster plates were the most common pieces from this china set, having a collection of 10 was quite rare. Collectors often preferred individual oyster plates rather than a complete set, meaning that the guest's 10-plate collection held more value than she might have realized. The estimated auction value for just the 3 plates the guest brought in is
between $4,000 and $6,000 for the 3, and between $15,000 and $25,000 for all 10.
Thank you.
Okay.
The guest brought in a beautiful jade vase inherited from her husband's great-uncle Jake, a world traveler and collector with a discerning eye for Asian art. The piece is quite impressive and is a Chinese hue form, a specific type of vase meticulously crafted to resemble ancient bronze designs. There are various symbolic features on the vase like the mask, scrolls, and animal head, each detail contributing to the narrative and perceived age of the piece. The mask is what we call a taote. This interlaced pattern is looking back to something called a liuwen design that you find on ancient Chinese bronze vessels. These elements were intentionally incorporated by the carver to evoke a sense of antiquity, further enhancing the value of the vase. The estimated vase's origin is between 1880 and 1900, placing it within the Qing Dynasty. The most surprising detail, however, was the value, with the vase going for an auction price of
Qing Dynasty. Today, if this came up for auction, we would expect it to sell between $8,000 and $12,000.
Okay. I am very surprised.
The guest inherited a fascinating Civil War-era artillery saber during a childhood trip with his mother. He was exploring an old pack house on the family property when he stumbled upon the relic hidden beneath debris. The sword is a product of Thomas Griswald and Company, a prominent retailer established in 1861 in New Orleans. The company was a major supplier of military equipment during the Civil War, and their artillery sabers were particularly well regarded for their quality and craftsmanship. One of the distinguishing features of Griswold artillery sabers was the scabbard. Unlike most artillery sabers, which had scabbards made of iron, Griswold often used copper and brass for their scabbards. These materials were not only visually appealing but also offered greater resistance to rust and corrosion, especially in the humid climate of New Orleans. The guest revealed he had it appraised before, and it was told it was worth around $10,000. This might have been accurate around 2000, when the market for Confederate artifacts was at its peak. However, the market has softened since then, placing the current value at
sword at that time probably would have brought $12,000, even $14,000. They've taken a hit along with a lot of things, and in today's world, it's probably worth more like $8,000.
The stunning vase catches the eye, a piece of Art Nouveau by the Quoizel Company. The Quoizel Company, founded in 1901, had roots in Tiffany, with key figures leaving to establish their own venture, Martin Bach Sr. and Thomas Johnson. The vase, once owned by artist Florence E. Ware, was then passed down to the guest. The design stands out with triple-hooked decoration and a unique combination of blue and purple. The finely engraved Quoizel signature with a K prefix suggests a circa 1910 creation.
Bottom part, the color is nice. It's blue and it's purple instead of the standard, what you normally see, which would be a gold and a cream.
The surface bears some scratches, each with a whispered tale that slightly dims its value's shine. The vase is estimated to be worth
K number. I would say in a retail setting, I would place the value between $2,500 and $3,500.
Really? No, I never dreamed that. It meant a lot in our family.
The guest brought in a cherished family heirloom, a homespun linen quilt passed down through generations. She shared a fond memory of their grandfather asking them to show it off to guests. The quilt is a rare and valuable piece. Its significance stemmed from 2 key factors: being crafted from homespun linen and boasting a clear date of 1796. The textiles, particularly American-made ones, from this period are uncommon. While the quilt had some condition issues like stains and missing fringe, a restoration is still very possible. Considering its age, material, and historical significance, the estimated value is
in the $10,000 to $15,000 range.
No, I never dreamed that. It meant a lot in our family. You're kidding. Oh, it's great.
The guest brought a collection of jewelry by an artist named Karen Margaret Johnson from the 1970s. She called her work sculpture jewelry, and there was a lot of beadwork on it. The guest mother saw her at a fine craft show and decided to promote her work with the help of like-minded people. In the process, the guest's mother amassed quite a collection of several dozen pieces made by her. These sculptural jewelry pieces of 1970s were wonderful and handmade from brass. The 1970s were famous for big, bold jewelry pieces and nothing dainty, and these pieces were a great representation of that era. The guest's mother bought these pieces between $20 to $28 range, which was quite cheap even for the 1970s. This beautifully sculpted, handmade brass jewelry was appraised at
if we did the necklace with the matching bracelet of $1,000 to $1,500, the bracelet $300 to $500, and then the other set, it's in a similar category as this set. Again, $1,000 to $1,500.
You're kidding? Oh, it's great. You're kidding. Geez, I think there was more value in the silver than that.
The guest brought in a squash blossom necklace and a turquoise bracelet they had found on the side of the road 35 years ago. Having turned it into the authorities and advertised it with no success, the guest decided to keep the jewelry. However, she was curious about its origins and potential value. The item is identified as a Navajo-made tourist-quality jewelry, dating back to the 1960s or 1970s. This era witnessed a surge in mass-produced Native American-inspired jewelry aimed at tourists. It is a squash blossom necklace which extends from here to the crescent Naha. The bracelet, however, is composed of 3 medallions of turquoise. While the necklace and bracelet were crafted from silver, the turquoise stones had been treated to enhance their color and stability. This treatment, while common in commercially produced pieces, lessened their value compared to natural turquoise. The estimated combined retail value of the piece is
maybe $1,500. You're kidding. Geez, I think there was more value in the silver than that.
This Minnesota Atlas is a stunning visual record of the state's history and geography during the 19th century. Published in 1874, this atlas features detailed maps of Minnesota's cities, providing a comprehensive view of the state's landscape. What sets this atlas apart is its illustrations, which depicts various aspects of Minnesota life in the 19th century. However, how much would this historical piece be worth at auction?
A piece of traveling furniture designed for a sea captain, likely ordered in Canton during the trading season, features a finished top with a tambour mechanism and a detachable top bookcase part.
Then we have the top bookcase part, and you can see that the top here is finished.
This modular design allowed the captain to use it as a full bookcase at home or in China, and as a working desk aboard his ship. These Chinese characters identifying the drawer further confirm its Chinese origin. The Guest family has owned this piece for between 5 and 7 generations. This amazing furniture includes practical features such as a till and a removable compartment for ink and writing. Additionally, handles on the sides make it easy to carry and transport. Given its rarity and well-documented history, the item is valued, in today's market, between
$20,000 and $25,000. That's nice for a family piece.
That's unbelievable. I had no idea.
A Philadelphia side chair, believed to be from around 1760, was brought to light. A masterpiece of Rococo elegance, this mahogany creation whispers tales of craftsmanship in its intricate curves. Notable features include a rocaille shell, volutes, acanthus leaves, scrolled terminals, and a trapezoidal seat. Its mahogany stripes were prominently displayed on the seat rail and splat. Turning the chair revealed drastically sloped rear legs, adding to its aesthetic appeal. Obtained for overdue rent by the guest, inherited from a late aunt by their former roommate, authenticity doubts but cherished. Its originality, including the marked seat frame and popular 2-part glue blocks, underscored its historical significance.
Absolutely original. It's an 18th century, 1770 seat frame with a reproduction crewel stitch on it.
This Philadelphia side chair at auction has a potential worth of
$15,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, $15,000 to about $18,000.
That's unbelievable. I had no idea.
The guest presented a Gibson Girl doll on the show. This piece is an iconic representation of the fashionable woman from the early 20th century. Inspired by illustrations of Charles D. Gibson, this doll was produced by the J.D. Kessner Doll Company in Germany.
You can tell it's very different from a child doll. She has this long neck and her face is looking up. Her hair is done in a style that an adult woman would have.
It is made of bisque porcelain, a type of unglazed porcelain that gives the doll a realistic appearance. Also, the doll's features are finely painted, capturing the elegance and grace of the Gibson girl. However, this doll remains a charming reminder of a bygone era and a testament to the enduring appeal of the Gibson girl idea with a price value of
$1,500 and $2,200.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful.
Won't have to depend on just Social Security, I guess.
We are presented with a very rare collection of rhinoceros horn cup carvings. Our guests have been collecting these items since the 1970s from private individuals and antique shops.
This one and this one I've pretty much traded and some cash to a good friend of mine in Dallas.
These carvings were made circa the late 17th century to the early 18th century. Included in this collection is a cup adorned with a dragon design on the handle and a band of detailed carving on the center section. Another cup displayed has short feet for support and a pie-edge appearance. We also have an archaic cup that was made for ritual purposes. Also exhibited is a cup featuring carvings of the Immortals around its sides. Lastly, we are presented with a cup carved in the form of a lotus. However, the cup's stand has been replaced over time.
It's carved hardwood, it's not rhinoceros horn, but it complements very much the lotus form.
Given that these items are rare and beautifully carved, they are estimated to be worth
between $1 million and $1,500,000 for this group. Serious? I'm serious. Whoa. Well, I won't have to depend on just Social Security, I guess.
This man brought to the show a drawing he reframed.
We reframed it, and this paper was the backing of the original way that was framed.
This drawing originally belonged to one of his relatives and was made in 1937 by Jared French, an American painter who specialized in the medium of egg tempera. This drawing is a study for Safe, a known painting in the Hall of Fame, featuring a great American subject, a baseball game. Although the players in this drawing aren't recognized, its surrealistic style, combined with magical elements, would fetch a price of
$20,000.
Wow. I'm going to go to the Cooperstown now.
Step into the past with a remarkable oversized tea cozy from around 1900. This cozy is a masterpiece of Native American craftsmanship. Hand-sewn with precision, it features intricate beadwork and vibrant colors, lending it three-dimensional depth. Each stitch tells a story of European, particularly Scottish, influence.
This has got to be the most spectacular piece of beadwork from the Great Lakes I have ever seen in my life.
Well-preserved cozy's unique design reflects nature and tribal symbolism, showcasing the artisan's skill. This cozy isn't just functional, it's a work of art, enhancing tea gatherings with charm.
What'd you pay for it?
$65.
Oh man, $65? Are you kidding me? Well, it's worth about $2,000.
Wow.
Not often do we encounter a piece of jewelry that transports us back in time, but the Art Deco cocktail bracelet does just that. The guest inherited it from her half-sister. The bracelet is made of diamonds and platinum, characterized by its geometric design, typical of the Art Deco period.
The sapphires are synthetic. That just means they were grown synthetically around 1885, 1890, and they assembled the piece.
Crafted in the early 20th century during the height of the Art Deco movement, this bracelet features intricate designs and exquisite craftsmanship. Today, this bracelet remains a coveted and timeless piece of jewelry, sought after for its beauty and historical significance, and is worth
$15,000 to $18,000.
Oh, really?
That's what this piece would bring.
Well, it certainly has improved in value.
Well, the diamonds are A1 quality. They're white stones. They're clean. It's a well-made piece.
At 8, the guest's mom's uncle let him and his sister choose trinkets from his NYC apartment, including 2 beautiful French faux books.
He was a world traveler, so he had like a set of armor from England, and he had ebony and ivory elephants from Africa, and these are a couple of things that I thought were really cool.
One contains a music box and decanter set, while the other is a poker set. Both feature intricate craftsmanship with tooled leather, gilding, and a Made in France stamp. The poker set opens up to show original pages and a set of baccarat and crystal glasses. These items probably originate from the late Victorian to Edwardian era, approximately between 1900 and the 1920s. The poker set is particularly intriguing. Surprisingly, the cards have never been used, remaining in pristine condition. Glasses show no chips, and everything remains in its rightful place. Based on similar items at auction,
Smaller box would be $300 to $500, and the bigger one's going to be about $500 to $800.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
The guest received a painted chest as a gift from a friend associated with Old Sturbridge Village. The friend believed the chest was too old for the historical period the village aimed to represent. However, the chest's origin is a bit of a mystery. While it was clearly crafted in 1810, the construction materials, poplar and yellow pine, pointed towards the mid-Atlantic states, particularly Pennsylvania. Several details like the hinges and lack of dovetail joints didn't align with typical Pennsylvania chests. The vibrant painted decoration, however, was a strong selling point in the current market. It is theorized that the chest might be from New York or possibly even further south, like Virginia or Tennessee. The regional origin significantly impacted the value. As a New York chest, the piece was estimated to be worth
is about $8,000 to $12,000.
I hope your mom's happy too.
Yeah, oh, she will be.
This Gruby and Reed butterfly vase are two exceptional examples of early 20th century art pottery. The Gruby features a simple yet elegant design. This jar is a testament to the arts and crafts movement. Also, the Reed butterfly vase, designed by Frederick H. Reed, represents the Art Nouveau style that was popular during the same period. This vase features a delicate butterfly motif rendered in vibrant colors and intricate detail.
Absolutely perfect condition. So it's the original matching lid in perfect condition. The glaze works together with the base.
However, both pieces showcase the diversity and beauty of the period's ceramic artistry that's valued at
$10,000 to $15,000.
Oh my God. Oh.
I hope your mom's happy too.
Yeah, oh, she will be.